Things you must do as somebody on COS in the UK. If I was to come to the UK today, not to suffer all those injustices I suffer, the first thing I was supposed to do, and the first thing you should do, or you will do, you need to read the Employment Act of 1996. You will read the Employment Act. I wish I read the Employment Act of 1996 maybe before coming to this country, or read it on my early days of this country, because I am on COS, which is a skilled worker visa. Means that my duty, my main duty in this country is to provide health and care services, which is an employment. I was supposed to read the Employment Act of 1996, which talk about my pay, my wages, deduction. It talk about redundancy. It talk about treatment in workplace. I was supposed to read it. But did I read it? No. And I'm telling you guys, if you're on COS and you come from other country, you say this country called United Kingdom, you need to read. And if you are someone that don't want to read, you run away from reading, you will be in for a very deep mess. The Employment Act of 1996 even stated that an employer should not take an employee money, like deduct money that is going to affect their livelihood. Remember, my money was deducted to the extent that St. Vincent de Paul have to give me money to survive in this country, which is very unfair. If I had known my rights, I can challenge this in court. Also, the Employment Act of 1996 stated about your safety at workplace. You see, when that woman had pinned me to the wall, I was having abdominal pain. I had pain for weeks, and I went to the manager. The manager didn't do nothing. It is not allowed, because as an employee, the Employment Act of 1996 states about how you should put safety measures for your staff, for your employee at workplace. That was not what? Correct. So guys, I will hold your hands if you are an immigrant. In fact, I'm talking of those people that are on COS. Go and read the Employment Act of 1996. Days ago, someone reached out to me about unfair dismissal from workplace. And I've seen many people that have been unfairly dismissed at work. It is because you've not read the Employment Act of 1996. There are rules, there are steps to take for you to be dismissed. And most of these dismissal or for people on COS are unfair, and they don't follow the process. And this goes against the Employment Act of 1996, and which is that you can take it up to the court, you can take it to the employment tribunal, and you are going to win that case. Read that Employment Act. It will come back to the UK again to start afresh. Number one thing I'm going to read is the Employment Act of 1996.